guys, it's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match preview for Girona versus Barcelona in La Liga. Club football is back for only a short amount of time before we're into another international break. Nonetheless though, Barcelona are into a tough run for this next period of club football, and we start off with a trip in the Catalan Derby against a rival from last season who cooked us in both games. So we're looking for revenge. Of course, we're on the high right now, and hopefully we can continue our momentum that we did have, of course, previously to the international break beginning. Before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 4:15 p.m. local time. So we do have a very early kickoff in this match, and this match will be taking place just across the road at the Montilivi Stadium. I believe it's about a 20-minute drive from the Camp Nou, but I'm hearing that apparently the club going to travel tonight, which again is a bit weird. I guess since the game is pretty early in the afternoon, I guess it makes sense. But again, it's a short journey, so it's kind of have that home feeling vibe, even though we're not making that huge journey away. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed. On the pitch, it will be Alejandro Muñez Ruiz, and on the VAR, it will be Pizarro Gomez. Let's start off by taking a look at the league table, where Barcelona are currently sat in first place in La Liga on 12 points. After playing 4 matches, we have 4 wins and a plus 13 goal difference. Of course, that is due to the 7-0 thrashing to Valladolid before the international break. We've conceded 3 goals. We've scored like, 11 or 12 off the top of my head. What was it 7 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2? So, I mean, you can do the math there. But, yeah, we're on to a fantastic start. Can't really complain. Of course, behind us is Real Madrid, Atletico, and Villarreal, all sat on 8 points, all with the exact same record of 2 wins and 2 draws. And our opponents, Girona, are only down in 5th place on 7 points. After playing 4 matches, they have 2 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. I believe that 1 loss is to Atletico Madrid, and their 1 draw was on the opening day against Betis. I believe it was 0-0 or 1-1. So everyone's kind of having the same kind of start. It's just Barcelona who are kind of exceeding expectations as things currently stand. Now, if you take a look at the top teams and who they'll be facing this weekend, as of recording, Real Madrid will be playing Sociedad in about 2 hours time, and then I think tomorrow Atletico Madrid will be hosting Valencia later on in the day. So I'll tell you what, if Madrid slip up against Sociedad again, it's at the Anoeta, you never know. I expect Atletico Madrid to get 3 points against Valencia at the Metropolitano Stadium for sure. But Madrid, if they slip up, that should just be extra motivation, extra, for Barcelona to go out there and get this result, because they can definitely drop points in this game. Of course, they win if we have to win to keep our point advantage at a decent hold. But I can see Real Madrid dropping points in this game. Players are just coming back from the international break. They haven't been too fluid. It's a good side in Sociedad as well, so you never know. Keep your eyes on that game in just a few hours time as of uploading this video. But for now, Barcelona clearly the league favorites, and hopefully we can continue this momentum. And again, we have to talk about as well how much we've not only done in the league, but how much we dominated in that first month. Of course, the awards came out where Hansi Flick was awarded the Coach of the Month, Lamine Yamal was awarded the Best Under 23 Player, and Raphinha won Player of the Month. I cannot remember the last time we won Player of the Month. Was it like Lewandowski in the 22-23 season, I believe, in like September? That was the last time I think we won a Player of the Month award. So just shows how testament and how crucial and how impressive that first month was for Barcelona. Of course, 4 games, 4 wins. You cannot complain. So hopefully we continue this trajectory in the right way, and it starts off especially hopefully beating this international break curse with a win against Girona. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Girona. They've always kind of been the quiet neighbors, but last season they had an absolutely exceptional year. Of course, now playing in the Champions League. I believe in the end they finished 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, or 4th, one of the two. Who really cares? But last season, they absolutely had us on toast. In the last game we did play against Girona, they did beat us 4-2 at the Montilivi, where we're going to be playing tomorrow. They also beat us 4-2 in the home game as well at the Montjuic. This game, we all know what happened. I think Barcelona were up 2-1 going into the break. We went 1-0 down. I think we know we scored early on, then Dobik equalized and make it 1-1. We scored just before the break. Or Roberto mistake, and then they just scored 3 goals in about 6 or 7 minutes, and it was a catastrophe in that spell that led to a lot of individual mistakes. You can see the lineup for this match on the screen. Only Gundogan, Roberto, Cancelo not here anymore. Of course, Araujo unavailable due to his injury. Everyone else, and of course Christensen as well, everyone else is fit. So these players know what happened last season. The majority of them, of course all of them know except for Dani Olmo. They know how tough it was, and they know how humiliating it was as well from a Barcelona fan perspective as well. So hopefully they can kind of rectify that in this game. If you take a look at Girona's last 6 matches in all competition, in the last match they beat Sevilla away from home 2-0. They beat Osasuna 4-0. They lost to Madrid 3-0. They drew with Betis 1-1, and then Bournemouth and Newcastle in preseason. Who really gives a crap about that? But let's take a look at their last 3 games in the league. Firstly is that 3-0 loss to Atletico Madrid. To be honest, they didn't play that badly, but Atletico Madrid had that home advantage. They were very crucial in their chances as well. To be fair to Girona, they did have quite a bit of chances. I remember Romeo had a good chance. Adel Ruiz as well up front. I think Siankov as well from the right-hand side had a good opportunity. So they had some chances, but they just couldn't really convert it, and Atletico Madrid did. I think the scoreline is a bit flattering to the overall passes of play, but again, on paper, it was a big thumping loss for them, especially drawing their first game as well. So 1 point out of 2 after them getting Europe wasn't really the best to start from them, and after that, of course, they did rectify. Let's take a look at the next game, of course, which was a 4-0 win against Osasuna. Absolutely battered them. I did end up watching this game with Siankov having, of course, a fantastic performance. Adel Ruiz getting his first goal for Girona. I believe it was a penalty, if I'm not mistaken. Brian Hill, of course, on loan from Tottenham, getting on the score sheet as well. This is kind of the Girona that we saw last season, but it took them a while to really get into the gear during this season. But a very emphatic win for them. And their final match, of course, was that 2-0 win against Sevilla. So no goals conceded in their last 2 games with 6 goals scored. Of course, we kind of did that in 1 game, but you know, besides the point. In this game, the Ramos Sanchez piece won. It was quite difficult. Sevilla had a few chances. I believe they scored as well. That was chopped off for offside as well. But they really kept their composure. Gazzaniga made some key saves, especially in that second half when it was only 1-0 to Girona. I think they scored, later on in the game as well. So you could say maybe the score lands a bit flattering, but it was a, counter performance for them. Adel Ruiz, I believe, getting the penalty later on in the second half to kind of secure the victory. Ivan Martin getting the goal in the first half. I think pretty early on as well. But it was not a vintage Girona performance. Very much, a place where you know that they're going to go out there, they're going to struggle. So they really had a compact team. They got their goal and kind of wanted to control the lead rather than going out and getting more. So tactical strong win for them that, of course, puts them in that 5th spot in La Liga. So overall, final thoughts on Girona. They're a very, very good side, very well managed by their manager Michel, who's done an exceptional job for them over the past few years. This season, I don't think they've been really the shadow of themselves from last year. You expect a drop off after having an exceptional season like that, but you can still see the identity. You can still see some of the fluidity still being there, of course, with their team. They, of course, lost a considerable amount of key players, which I've been very surprised about. I thought really they wouldn't really lose too many people, maybe just Savio, maybe Dobik, but they actually lost quite a few other players as well. Now, in terms of players to look out for in this team, they saw a very strong squad. Of course, they kept their goalkeeper Gazzaniga, who's done very well for them. Daley Blind and David Lopez as a center back partnership has always done well. Siankov, always a great winger. Brian Hill on loan from Tottenham as well. Of course, Romeo on loan from Barcelona. He is injured for this game. He's not going to play, but he also has that fear clause, so he cannot play against us either. But keep your eyes on the former Barcelona player, Adel Ruiz. I remember watching him when he was coming to the academy. He scored when we were I think after we got thumped at Anfield, he scored a goal in the next game at the home game. I forget which one it was before the cup final. But yeah, I've seen him a lot at Barcelona. We then saw him, of course, to Braga, and then he made the move from Braga to Girona this summer. He's going to have a point to prove, of course, against his former side. I let him go, so I'd keep your eyes on him for sure. Of course, Arnan Martinez is now having a resurgence at right back with no Eric Garcia being involved for them. Michel Guetres, the left back, is still there. Angel Herrera, I think he's a bit of a doubt for this game. So the 2 big losses for Girona in their midfield, with Romeo and Herrera being out due to some injuries as well. So they're going to be they're already weaker than they were last season, but a tad bit weaker with some discomfort and some, fear clauses in there as well. So definitely a team that can be got at. They had a bumpy start to the season. From Barcelona, all you can really say to them is just keep playing the way that you know how to beat teams. Go on the front foot, stay attacking no matter what. Don't go defensive. Don't be conservative. Always be on that extra toe forward to put Girona under pressure. Let's now take a look at the squad list. The squad list of this match has been released and confirmed, and it is as follows: Ter Stegen, Cubarsí, Baldi, Inigo, Fran, Pedri, Lewandowski, Raphinha, Inaki Peña, Paulo Torre Casado, Pau Victor, Lamine Yamal, Olmo, Kounde, Eric Cochin, Ford, Gerard Martin, Sergio Dominguez, and Guillermo Fernandez. So of course, no surprises apart from Guillermo Fernandez being included. This was rumored yesterday as well because he was not in the squad list for the Barca Athletic match this weekend. Also, there was some big news about both the two Ghanaian signings for Barca Athletic in David Oduro and Abdul Aziz, both training with the first team today as well. So some big involvements there with Barca Athletic, with of course Guillermo getting called up. The two Ghana players cannot be called up yet because they're still waiting for their work permits, both Odoro and Abdul Aziz. So we'll wait and see with them. But both of them training already with the first team is huge news. I don't even think they've trained with Barcelona B yet, which is a crazy sight to see. But from this part of the squad list, of course, apart from Guillermo Fernandez being included, no other surprises. Now, some more positive news is that the return of Frenkie de Jong is now nearing closer. We all wanted to be at some point in training this week to maybe be in the squad list for Girona, or at least see him. Of course, he's not been training yet with the first team. Everyone was disappointed, but now we got some big news from Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo saying that Hansi Flick already has plans for Frenkie de Jong to start training with the group next week. The player has been feeling very positive in recent days during his individual training sessions. The player himself has confirmed this to the coaching staff as well. De Jong has been doing sprinting, turning, ball control, passing exercises with complete normality. The next test for him now is to work fully with the squad. So next week, Frenkie de Jong should be back with the first team for the first time since April. I would expect him to be training for the whole week. I don't think he'll be in the squad list for Monaco, squad list for Villarreal, but maybe afterwards against Young Boys, Getafe, he could make his return then. So we're probably going to be getting, I would say, both Frenkie and Fermin Lopez coming back at around the same time. I do expect Ansu Fati to return at some point next week against Monaco or Villarreal, but this right here is a massive boost. If Frenkie de Jong can get fit by the end of this run of games and then go out with the Netherlands international break, get his happy feeling back, get his rhythm up, then after that during November we'll have, or end of October, beginning of November, we'll have rock solid Frenkie de Jong ready to go. This of course is fantastic news. I have big controversy around his future, but again, he should be back in training at some point, hopefully next week with the first team. Time now to get into Hansi Flick's press conference reaction that was delayed. He did do it later this afternoon in Barcelona, which is, he usually does it in the morning, so 6 hours later than usual. But, I mean, it's whatever. The squad did train late. I guess if they want to travel a little bit early, they want to push the training session later on. But anyways, this press conference, let's get and see what the Flick had to say this afternoon/evening in the presser. Starts by saying that Girona is a complicated team that is playing in the Champions League, but we have the confidence after 4 consecutive wins. It's all about the way we start the match. Could not agree more with that. I've watched Girona's games and I see that they play at a high level, but we are in a good position. I hope we can continue like this. So far, I really like what I see in the squad. We haven't decided yet on who the starting 11 players will be tomorrow. Then asked about Eric Garcia. Eric Garcia is doing very well. We don't know the starting lineup yet for tomorrow, but he could definitely be an option. Who's then asked on the return of Ansu Fati, saying that we are happy to have him back. He could be back in the next game. We also have to take into account that Gavi, who has been training with us as well, I see him in good spirits. Gavi could be back a little bit later, but Fati could be back this Thursday against Monaco in the Champions League. We know the Girona's strong point is possession of the ball, so we have to press well and defend well with as a whole team. The fact that the players want to win by a landslide and keep scoring goals has to do with our game plan and our mentality. Every game is different, but this is our objective. If we have the ball, we have a good chance of winning the match tomorrow. Then he's asked on Raphinha's fine form, of course, after winning Player of the Month, and that Raphinha is spectacular level. He's a brilliant player and he'll be very important tomorrow. He's very intense and gives a lot of positivity, and he's very supportive of the rest of his teammates. I'm very happy with the atmosphere Deco has created in the squad with the new players, new coach, new staff. It is a signal that we send to players that we have to give our all to win. He's asking Lamine Yamal. I think that Lamine Yamal is playing at a very high level, but he has the age where he can still improve. Champions never rest, and I think this is a great advice I can give him if he wants to become a great champion. And finally, he was asked on the match on Thursday against Monaco, and Hansi Flick said, look, I'm not thinking about Thursday on Monaco in the Champions League. Right now, my full attention is towards the match against Girona tomorrow. And that concluded Hansi Flick's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Girona tomorrow. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Hansi Flick. I'm going to try my best to predict his lineup. I think it'll be fairly simple to predict, barring, I would say, 1 to maximum 2 changes, but I believe that Hansi Flick will go with this lineup on the screen right now. He'll go Ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Kounde, Cubarsí, Inigo Martinez, and Alejandro Balde. Midfield 3 of Eric Garcia, Pedri, and Dani Olmo. Front 3 of Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Raphinha. The question marks are going to be, of course, in the midfield. Thank God Pedri didn't get too many minutes with Spain. I think he only played about 20 minutes in total during the international break, which is fine. Who's going to be playing alongside Pedri? Is it going to be Eric Garcia or Casado? I think it's the time to play Eric Garcia, and I think also Hansi Flick does agree. As he gets his former side as well, you kept him, begged him to stay in the summer. This is your moment now to play him. I understand Casado, has been doing really well so far, but again, I think him off the bench would be a great asset. What you could also do as well is put Casado in the midfield, maybe draw Eric Garcia at center back instead of Cubarsí, but I think Cubarsí has really done well over the past few weeks with Spain's under 21, and also before going on international duty with Barcelona. Apart from that, there's been some reports that maybe Ferran Torres will start ahead of Dani Olmo, which will of course see Raphinha play in the 10, then Ferran Torres off the left. That could be a possibility, but Dani Olmo played no minutes with Spain, if I'm not mistaken, or he only played about 80 minutes, should I say. He didn't miss the second game completely. I don't expect Hansi Flick to make any rotations after the international break. All these players kind of played quite early in the week on Sunday, so they did, of course, have a good solid week off almost of no, football. I think Kounde played on Tuesday, but didn't play the first game with France, so he should be all right as well. So I think we kind of really scraped by this international break, and of course, on paper right now, this is Hansi Flick's strongest team, and I think he will select it for this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think Hansi Flick will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was the Barcelona coach. Not going to waste too much of your time here. I would pick the exact same team. I thought about Casado, but I'm like, you know what, this is a good time to test Eric Garcia against his former side to see if he can really, be a suitable option in the pivot. If not, you can roll with Casado, who can do a job, but just is a bit younger, so you want to give him that experience and nurture him. That's going to be a different perspective. I also thought about maybe bringing in Ferran Torres instead of Lamine Yamal, just to rest Lamine Yamal a bit, but I'm like, you know what, I'll rest him for another game. This is the game where you really want to start Lamine Yamal. You want to keep the momentum going after the international break as well. Apart from that, I didn't really contemplate any other changes because we also don't really have any options as well. I was thinking about Pablo Torre, but I'm like, you know what, let's not be dumb. We can't really just start him against Girona out of nowhere. He wasn't even a starter for them last season, despite him doing really well with the under-21s during the international break. But I know Casado, Torre, Ferran off the bench will be great assets for Barcelona, even Hector Fort as well. But this will be the lineup I would select for this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know if you agree with my lineup and Flick's lineup. Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? I am continuing my trend this year of predicting 1-1 draws and then Barcelona in the end going out and proving me wrong and winning the game. Look, I think that I don't see Barcelona losing this game. I do, however, can see a draw being a very likely scenario. Difficult team, away from home, right after an international break. I remember so many times over the past 5 years we've done so well, pre-international break. It comes, we come back, and we're just pure shite. Hopefully it changes this time under Flick. We of course thought that hopefully it would change under Xavi. It didn't. Hopefully it'll change under Koeman. It didn't. Hopefully it'll change under Setien. Well, we didn't have an international break under Setien because of COVID. Hopefully it'll change under Valverde, and it didn't. So hopefully there is a change this time, but I think the opponent, and especially where we're playing as well, is a bit difficult. But I don't see Barcelona losing this game. I would be surprised if we did lose. I think it's of course a possibility, but I don't think it's a very high outcome. I think a draw is the most likely scenario alongside a Barcelona win. I have no doubt we can win this game, especially with the strong team that I do suspect Hansi Flick to select, and and also how weaker Girona are. I would go into this game feeling and knowing Barcelona will win, but I don't know, man. Just this international break curse is really getting to my head. And also, I'm trying to go with a little bit of a jinx here as well. A little reverse psychology. But my official prediction is a 1-1 draw for this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think the scoreline will be. So that was a match preview for Girona versus Barcelona in La Liga. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well. Let me hear your thoughts on everything we discussed, but the main thing I want to know firstly, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly, on those lineups. Do you agree with my lineup and Flick's lineup? Would you do anything different? Do you agree with us as well? Leave me all your thoughts in the comments below, and of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me and watch the game with me. Follow you after the match by my match review. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big game ahead. Let's break this international curse and continue the momentum that we have started so far this season. Take care and Forza Barca.